There is a lot of things the Eagles need to do well going into the first game of the season at Gillette Stadium against the New England Patriots. A lot to go over here. So let's get straight into all of it.
Because I've seen enough horror movies to know any weirdo wearing a mask is never friendly.
Yo, what is going on, guys? I hope everyone's having a fantastic day today. So, all right, the first game of the season. We are already here. We're ready to go, and definitely a lot to talk about. The first thing going into your first game is obviously knocking the rust off. We have to knock the rust off. This is what happens every single year. Didn't think the Eagles did a bad job last year. Obviously, we always get nervous because, these players don't get enough playing time. These starters only play for a series, in preseason. They get a lot of reps in joint practices, and then they're off for a few weeks. They're off for a good amount of time. They get in practice reps and stuff, but, are they hitting enough? Are they getting enough physicality during these practices? And, comes into, is this defense going to tackle well? And being 100% healthy going into this game is definitely helping tremendously. So really going forward, I heard at Gillette Stadium it's going to be not a great day. I don't know. I heard there's going to be some rain. I don't know. I heard the weather is not supposed to be great. So if we're not passing, we definitely have to rely more on this running game. And we'll probably have to ask more of these running backs in the first game of the season, especially the new acquisitions of, DeAndre Swift and Rashad Penny, and kind of sharing these carries a little bit, and keeping everybody fresh. Because we have a short week this week. We have the Patriots on, tomorrow, and then we have a short week Thursday night against the Vikings. So at least we're getting the short week out of the way. So the injuries for the Philadelphia Eagles, there is absolutely none. It is a clean bill of health for the Philadelphia Eagles. Nolan Smith is good. Everything is perfectly fine. Going to the game tomorrow with the Patriots, obviously, Devontae Parker has been limited all week, and I don't know what's going on. Dealing with an injury. Is it like a fake injury and they just want to make the Eagles look like they're, maybe he's not starting? I don't know. Devontae Parker's been limited the whole entire week. Juju Smith-Schuster is out with the knee swelling that's going on. So it looks like he's out. Jack Jones, their starting cornerback, is out. The starting cornerback is out. So, they can always slide somebody to the outside. They got Marcus Jones. They got Jalen Mills. They got some players that can move around a little bit. So they might fill that spot nicely, but we'll see how that goes. Christian Gonzalez, their 17th overall pick. Interesting to see who he's going to cover in that game. You have Judon on the defensive side of the ball, which, definitely have to watch out for him. He's struggled a lot against, mobile quarterbacks, even last year. Struggled a lot. Watch a lot of tape on Judon, and he definitely struggles in that department going forward. With the read option, the RPOs, I feel like he's going to get tricked a lot of times. I feel like with Jalen Hurts back there, with the amount of attention that Swift is going to get and Gainwell and some of these other running backs, plus these weapons are going to spread out this offense pretty good. I feel like there's going to be a lot of attention all over the field. Starting guards for the Patriots were limited this week, and still questionable for Sunday's game. And if they lose one of their guards, it's going to be a rough day. I think it's already a rough day as it is. I don't want to say this game is in the bag, but would like for this team to score over 30 points this game. If they don't, it's no big deal. The first game is usually a coin toss mostly. It's just because it's the first game of the season. It's the first time where these teams are hitting in a while. I didn't really like the tackling, what we did in preseason this past preseason. I didn't really like, the tackling was kind of atrocious at times, and hopefully we kind of get that underway, and hopefully that's a plus on our list here because you don't want to miss open field tackles, and, we kind of had an issue with that. But yes, a lot of stars didn't play, and that's where I kind of get worried with some of these, some of these players that, these stars haven't played in a few weeks, or the veteran guys like Lane Johnson and Graham and some of these other guys that really don't play too much, don't even play in preseason at all. They get a lot of rest to get ready for the, they got the older guys. You don't want to put too much on them during the preseason games. They'll get some work maybe during joint practices and stuff like that, where Nick really values those joint practices a lot. But when it comes down to it, like Brian Johnson's going to open up this offense, definitely going to open up the playbook a lot more, get these running backs involved in the passing game, no doubt. Devontae Smith, A.J. Brown, see what they do with the new tight end in Albert O and see if they actually use him in this game, which I'm actually pretty excited because we traded for him. They're keeping 4 tight ends on the roster, and they're not keeping 4 tight ends just because, he's just a tight end because I feel like he gives a lot more to the team as a great blocker. I think he can line up as a receiver, and you could use him, as a size difference, a size comparison, as a really, big threat inside if you really want to put him there at, 6'5", 6'4", 6'5", 252, 258 pounds, whatever he is. So it's going to be interesting how they use these tight ends. If it's not Dallas Goedert, how much is Albert O going to play? The distribution on carries from these running backs is going to be interesting because I definitely want to go over that after the game to see like how they really treated all these running backs the first game. I think it's going to change over time as the weeks go on of who they're giving the ball more to on specific plays. But Swift has definitely been working with the running back. Swift has been working with the wide receivers all week. The only running back when Swift was with the wide receivers working out with them, all the other running backs were on the other side of the field, of the practice field. So interesting enough to see Swift get more involved here, which I'm not going to be surprised, but I want to see if they actually give Gainwell more snaps and more carries than Swift, and we'll see what happens. But Swift is definitely going to be in this passing game. There's no doubt. As the rushing attack, we'll see how they distribute a little bit and see what their plan is going forward with that. I think at safety, they have to throw Sidney Brown into the fire. I think it's time they just got to throw somebody in there. Okay, we can't just figure this out and keep figuring it out every single day. I think Sidney Brown will start. Will be thrown into the fire, and, obviously Reed Blankenship will be there across from him. Seeing what they do with these cornerbacks. Obviously, with this game, it's not really much. I mean, it's going to be a big difference from Thursday night with the Vikings because obviously you have you have to face Jordan Addison as well with that Vikings offense. So you have 2 really good receivers on that team. But going into this game, not really much of crazy threats there. So seeing if maybe they start shadowing how Desai uses these players, especially big play Slay, shadowing the number one guy or the best guy that they have, because I think what they did really well with Slay early last year was they really shouted him on the number one guy, and I felt like they kind of strayed away from that. They were more passive. Gannon was more passive with the defense. He was taking these corners off 10 yards off the ball, and you were just waiting to react to a breakaway route to cover somebody, which is absolutely impossible. It will make any corner look that bad. Hence why a lot of fans didn't like maybe Slay was falling off, and I don't think he was. I think he was just put in really bad situations in this defense last year. And Sean Desai is not going to do that. But we'll see. Sean Desai is the final piece to this whole entire defense. I don't really have much to say about the offense. I know there's going to be a lot involved with that offense, and Brian Johnson's going to do a good job, and I have a lot of faith in this offense going, into this first game. The defense, Sean Desai is, like I said, the final piece that's got to put these guys in the right position to win this football game. You have Jalen Carter that I think will get his first sack in this game. I want to see how Jordan Davis looks. Obviously, Nolan Smith, how much they use him as an off-the-ball linebacker or snaps as a pure defensive end. I think that's going to be interesting. How the linebacker core looks. Obviously, Nakobe Dean being the the new middle linebacker for the Eagles. And, we saw a lot of good things from him in sample sizes last year. But like I said, it's not enough for me. He didn't play full games last year and need to see more. And Zach Cunningham looks like, not getting here that long ago and already is a starting linebacker here. And I think we got a really good player out of him already, and could be one of the most underachieving, well, not underachieving, but definitely almost underrated, signings that we had, which was great since Miles Jack did retire, and they were really, after Nakobe Dean had the ankle injury, they were in dire need to add more bodies at that position. And Christian Ellis is back there as mostly a special teamer for now, but definitely could fill in for coverage and, is not the best open tackler. He needs a little bit of work with that. But, you still have Nicholas Morrow on the practice squad. Kyron Johnson's gone now. So, you still got some, veteran depth on the practice squad if you need to bring a guy up or whatnot. So I think that's going to be, seeing the Kobe Dean, the start of his career is this year as a full-time starter, the quarterback of the defense, and very excited for that. And the rest of this defensive line going forward because, I want to see how the rotation's going to look. I'm hoping, Carter's next to Davis in the starting lineup, see how Fletcher Cox does, Josh Sweat, Hassan Reddick, Brandon Graham, even some of the depth pieces we have with Milton Williams and Kadavia Street and Tupelutu and some of these other guys. Maro Ojomo's probably still out, obviously, for this game. So it's going to be interesting what they do, how they attack, and how, Sean Desai creates pressure on quarterbacks. And trust me, I saw a lot of blitzing during these preseason games, and it was absolutely amazing. So it's going to be interesting to see going forward. And, lastly, it's really just the special teams. Like, so far on punt return, I mean, by the time you probably see this video, they probably already have this list already out. But so far on punt return, they've had Zacchaeus, they had Greg Ward, they had Covey, and Quez Watkins on punt return so far, as the 4 players right there. Devin Allen was not listed as a punt returner. I don't even know if he was. That's the only list I did see the past couple days, or what they did on video I saw from practice as well. Kick return, I really hope they give Devin Allen a shot and do something here. And what are they doing at punter? If nobody is signed today, the only reason why they wait, if they wait until Saturday, which is today, if nobody's signed today, Aaron Sipos will be the starting punter. And I don't know how you do it. Out of 5 other guys that you tried out, and Braden Mann, that was a guy that the Eagles were interested this year, and they were interested in him last year, and nobody's better than him. It just, Michael Clay is still stupid in my opinion. I feel like he's playing favorites. I'm afraid that he's just afraid to make change. I think you'll have some good gunners on special teams. I'm not really worried about punt return, kick return as much. The punter is the bigger problem, because this is where your ball placement is, okay? This is where you're placing the ball with a punt. And, from a 20-yard punt in a preseason game, it's actually really embarrassing. And he's still there. You know what I mean? So, I'm like I said, not worried about punt return, kick return as much, because I feel like, I'm hoping Oz can make some noise and maybe at that position, but I really want Devin Allen to be at that kick return instead of Boston Scott and Quez Watkins. I just feel like they just don't do enough for us. I feel like we need some new meat in the kick return game and the punt return game, but Covey will probably be the punt returner, and I have no issue with that at all going forward. I think they have some nice speed guys with Christian Ellis. They have some really nice speed guys going down the field. Devin Allen is a nice gunner they can use. Sidney Brown's another one. There's a lot of guys they can use that has some good speed for special teams. So I think gunner-wise, going down to on kickoff and punt, I think will be pretty good there. So, but it's really the punter is the biggest situation here. I know it sounds stupid. It's what we've been talking about for weeks, but I don't think Michael Clay ever prepared. I think he was set in stone that he's praying that somebody's going to work out. And we're only keeping Aaron Sipos because he can hold the damn ball for Jake Elliott. You should be fucking fired, because that's BS, So that's what I got to say about that. That's ridiculous. I mean, I'm still like, really? Okay. I think we're done. And then other than that, that's pretty much it. I mean, I think you got to get pressure on Mac Jones. They got to run the ball. They have a good group of backs back there. Their offensive line's a little, like I said, both guards have been limited this week. If they're losing a couple guards, it's going to be some issues. I already think Mac Jones is going to have issues. If they throw the ball a lot with him, he is going to get sacked 4 to 6 times, or may even be more than that, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? So I think it's going to be a good matchup. Like, you can't take this game and say it's a blowout. It's going to be easy. It's going to, there's no such thing as a trap game, in my opinion. The Eagles can only defeat themselves, and that's it. The Eagles can shoot themselves in the foot in this game. That's the only reason that they lose this game, really. I have high confidence they can win this game. And, every week it's going to be, moving up that mountaintop every single week, as Nick Sirianni says. So I want to know from you guys what you think of the matchups between the Eagles and Patriots, what you take out of it, who will be the new punter, who will be the punt returner, kick returner. What, if it's bad weather and we're going to run the ball, obviously it's going to be a change of pace for, a rainy game is not the best game to play in for the first game of the season to knock some rust, but it'll probably knock the rust off pretty damn quick. And that's definitely a big reason why let's knock the rust off as fast as possible and get this thing going. They go through 1 3 and out. I'll be like, okay, let them knock the rust. They go through 2 3 and outs. I'm going to get a little ticked off a little bit. We hold this team to a higher standard now. There's no, we hold everybody accountable for everything, and everything has to be perfection. That's how it is. So just let me know on all that information and just the game in general. What do you think the score is going to be? How do you think we match up? Do you think it's going to be a blowout? Do you think we're going to have a struggle? Do you think how much rust we're going to have to knock off? Do you trust Sean Desai in this defense? What are you most excited for going into this game? Whether it could be player, it could be anything. Let me know in the comment section below. And this will be the last video, really, before we have our game Sunday. Look for the live play-by-play. I'll be streaming the whole thing. And you guys have a fantastic day. I'll see you guys on the next one. Shakes, what up, follow side. Peace out, guys. Peace.